Welcome to the Zesty Ginger Podcast. We are Megan and Dr. Alex. We are here for transformation. Yours, ours, and the collective. Personal and professional for practitioners. But not just any transformation. Compassionate transformation. Because between the two of us, we have seemed to have done things the painful way. Let our pitfalls become your stepping stones. We aren't afraid to share our raw and vulnerable truths in order to help you transform your thinking, your body, your heart, and your soul. Combining 15 years of functional medicine with brain-based habit change to lead you to the best life possible in a compassionate way. Compassion, yes, yet plan to roll up your sleeves. Transformation requires your participation. And a quick reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your doctor, not this doctor, before making changes. Now let's get into the episode.
Hey there, quick update before we get into today's podcast episode. Just want to let you know that our one-of-a-kind Health Transformation Accelerator online group 12-week program is open for enrollment only this week. We offer this group just twice a year and it fills up really quickly. So if you feel like you've hit a health or life plateau and you're ready to bring that spark, that energy, all the fun back to your life, now is the time. And if you've been thinking about this group for a while or wanting to work with us in a deeper capacity, do not let another round pass you by. We are starting our group September 26th. The link is in the show notes, or go ahead and go on to zestyginger.com/transform. All right, and now let's get into the episode.
Hi there, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. This is Alex here with you. I'm popping in for a short podcast episode here to talk about a topic and a mindset that I recently kind of got mirrored back to me, and I wanted to talk about it. So I had something happen recently where there was some technological glitches going on. All right, so really the thing that actually happened wasn't a huge deal in terms of like practicality, right? It was just an issue and it needed to be fixed. But it was on the topic of something that's near and dear to my heart, right? And the thing that happens, as we all know, is that the importance of something then changes the mental gremlin discussion around it, right? And by mental gremlins, I'm just generally talking about things like worry, fear, self-sabotaging, old coping mechanism kind of things kicking up when we are trying to deal with something. And most often this is something that's new for us, and we are still in the process of becoming the identity, the type of human being that has that thing, that does that thing, that makes that impact. And because that challenges us to step into unknown and step into the new, then it tends to kick up a lot of thoughts, right? This can be from the past of this didn't work before, or it can be projections in the future. Who am I to do this? You know, maybe this going wrong is a sign that this is not for me, right? And there's all these determinations that we begin to make, these interpretations and stories. And we have to be very conscientious about what kind of story that we are telling ourselves and what kind of interpretation our brain is reflexively making. Because if we don't put ourselves in charge of this process, then life will take us for a ride every single time. And so what happened was that this tech glitch happened, right? And so then I got upset. Yeah, and I just kind of kicked into high gear in terms of trying to fix the problem. And also I was acknowledging and being authentic about the feelings that were coming up. I was frustrated. I was also a little bitter. I was a little bit guilty. And all these different parts of me were essentially all speaking and acting up and having an issue at once. even though my brain was trying to be resourceful and focus on the actual problem at hand. And that's where if you listen to the habit challenge, the 5 days, and then the 6th part, the nitty-gritty of transformation, you hear of how important it is to have support tools, processes, and strategies for all of this, because all of those mental gremlins will always get in the way of the perspective. And I couldn't quite get to the solution of the problem I was having because I couldn't get the distance, the height, the perspective away from the problem enough to see that and to truly find that. And I thought, gosh, how often does that happen, right? And so then I had a very kind friend reach out to me who knew I was kind of going through a moment there, and they were just offering emotional, mental support, right? No solutions, no nothing, just being there for me, which was super nice and really a big deal. And as I was talking, there was, I noticed a couple patterns within myself. And one of the things that I said was I described the whole problem. And then I said, but it's okay. And my friend said to me, I know that you have a pattern of downplaying certain things. This is a good friend of mine. And so I'm just going to ask you, is it really okay? And I kind of stopped for a second and I said, that's true. That is true. It's actually, this situation is not okay. In terms of what's happening right now, my take on it, my interpretation of the events and what it could turn into in the future, which granted is a projection, right? It's like I'm basing it off what has happened in the past, and therefore I think I know what's going to happen, but I don't actually know what's going to happen. But, I said, you're right. From my emotional standpoint and the part of me that's struggling with this, it's important for me to acknowledge that this is not okay. And it did feel really good to have that be pointed out to me and to allow that part of me that thought it was not okay to really have her time in the sun, so to speak. It was just her time to really acknowledge. And it was true. It would not have felt good to skip that step and be like, but it's okay, because I'm about to go into the other part of me, right? So here's me watching me be upset. But really, I'm also the decision maker of what happens next and creating the solution and the next problem, right? And so both parts are watching each other happen. And both parts need the validation. And so my friend saying that was really helpful to the part of me that knew, hey, I recognize this is a problem for me, right? And actually being authentic about that allowed me to sort of take a step back. And I realized, okay, yes, I think that this is a problem. And then here's the thing that happened that is the magic. And this is that's why we talk about honesty and authenticity, which does require courage, being the thing that brings all the fragmented parts of you into wholeness. Because once I gave myself that acknowledgement, the perspective all of a sudden shifted. I could see it from a different point of view. And then this is what I said to my friend. I said, what I really mean by that is that I recognize that it's not okay. So thank you for pointing that out to me. And you are absolutely right that I need to acknowledge it. But then to continue that thought is really that my belief from the part of me that is thinking resourcefully and critically and into possibilities in the future and becoming the person I want, and therefore getting the results that person has in their life and the experiences that they have and how they live and what happens to them, then even though it's not okay right now, my thought process on this is that it will be okay because I will make sure that it is okay. And from that, then my emotions shifted within that conversation, right? To step into the empowerment of, okay, it's true that it's happening, but what I really think is that this way of thinking is that I can change it, and it is up to me to make it okay, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. The feeling that I had from that thought all of a sudden continued to spiral in that positive direction and give me perspective. So it was kind of like taking an elevator internally, where all of a sudden then from that thought, it'll be okay because I'll make sure it's okay. Then I started thinking a little bit more outside the box. All of a sudden I started being like, what if I do this? What if I try this? What if this idea could work? And afterwards, after I got off the phone, I had several hours of super constructive and productive thinking and planning and outlining and reasoning. And all of a sudden, that problem I was having really drastically then transformed. And so there's a couple layers to this story, right? The whole mentality of getting to the place of I'm no longer willing to be at the effective life and just have a meltdown when things go wrong. It's like, no, I'm just going to make it okay because I'm in charge here and that's how I'm going to handle this. That is one, and that's really empowering. But the story in getting there is that we don't trample ourselves in the process. How I got there was not, hey, Alex, get your shit together and like pull it together and think constructively and let's do this. It wasn't like that at all. I did none of that. And quite honestly, when I know what happens. The little girl inside me is like, I'm trying my best. And what does she want to do? Throw in the towel. Right? So then I'm fighting myself and trying to throw in the towel instead of actually elevating my perspective and making decisions from my adult self that truly understands what I'm doing, who I am being to accomplish that, and what that process looks like. How can I support myself and give myself resources through it? I would love to hear from you when you apply this, or if you have your version of this, I super want to hear about it too. So shoot us a DM or email us, just come chat in general, because this is such an important topic and such an important process. Whatever empowering idea you get to, whether it's I'll be okay because I'll make it okay, or I'm still a work in progress and I'm good with that. Right, whatever empowering idea you get to, how are you getting to it? That's the $1 million question. All right, so we also re-released our part 5 of our habit challenge because we realized that there was a little bit of a tech glitch there too. That's not the one I'm talking about, but we had a little bit of issue there. We have re-released that, and so if you want to go back and catch up on some of the stories that you didn't get to hear, we did close the loop on Megan's Honduras trip. We did teaching, so check those things out. And then make sure you catch up on part 6, which is called the nitty gritty of transformation. It is another key episode to really zoom out into everything that we talk about. What's the underlying process? There's a way to do it step by step. There's lots of transformation and this kind of growth that we leave way up to just life moving us along. But really, when we change our thinking into, I got this and I'm going to set the tone, we become much more effective and we get our goals at a much faster rate. So check that out. Health Transformation Accelerated Program is open for enrollment. We would love to see you there. We open it twice a year. And that is where it's 12 weeks taking you through the 7-step transformational process. There are many things in there that will give you the resources and the support tools to make your journey so much more empowered. This is not a program where we tell you what to do. There's no meal plans. There's things. And so with that, we really have there's really a step-by-step breakdown of how do we do this? How do we really make sure that we are supporting ourselves the whole time? And it's not magic. So check that out, zestyginger.com/transform. We would love to see you in this group. And check that out, and listen to the transformational stories. They are so much fun. And we'll see you in there. The cart closes on this week on Friday, and then we start shortly thereafter. Lots of human design, lots of processes, lots of things that essentially, if you've been feeling like I am just floating in the wind on a hamster wheel, we got you. It's time to get off that. So if it's time to take the leap, come on over. We've done it lots of times, and we got you, right? We got you. It's all good. And if you've been struggling, cool. New part of life, right? That's the decision. New part of life or not. All right, we love you. We'll see you soon, and we'll talk to you.
Thanks for coming out to hang with us on the podcast. It is our goal to transform the way women are treated in healthcare. And we need your help. We need your help to get the word out. We have a lofty goal of 1 million downloads. And we know that as this podcast grows, we're going to be able to reach more women, get more amazing speakers for you, and bring the most cutting-edge information.
If you found these podclasses helpful, please take a moment to text 5 women you know the link to the series. We appreciate your help so much. Can't wait to see you next time.